Hey guys, so in today's trading bits, I'm going to talk about what a trading journal looks like to me. So a while back I tweeted this Trading Tip Tuesday stuff, and I said keep a trading journal, determine flaws, and eliminate them. So Tyranox asked me in the last Trading Bits video what a trading journal looks like for me, so I'm going to run through that for you, Tyranox. So Trader Dante is another great trader who does FX trading for a living. This is his version of a trading journal. You can see he handwrites everything daily. Fundamentals, technicals, what he thinks is going to happen, what actually happened, and conclusions. I think writing stuff out is painful, but depending on who you are, that's going to be your best way to journal your trades. For me, it's all about spreadsheets on Google Docs, so I will link all this up in the description so that way you can look at it further on your own. So basically my journal is essentially just Twitter, so I don't really keep a specific journal like this. I should, but I don't. The reason I sort of post all these charts on Twitter is so that I can index them all and reference them later and look at, was this a div? Did it play out? Did this chart play out as expected? Blah, blah, blah. So if you were keeping a journal like this is possibly what it would look like, okay? So up top, this is where like the corny, cheesy stuff goes, like what do I want to be when I grow up type deal. What's your objective? Is it paying off your student loans, which is my objective? Is it figuring out what works and what doesn't? Is it figuring out like what your emotional places in your head need to be in order to be a successful trader? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's obviously your journal, so you can add to this, subtract from this, anything you want to put up here. And it's good to just look at that every day and refresh your memory. Like, why am I doing this? So the journal part down here doesn't have to be in this order. I think the most important part of any trade, looking back on it, is whether or not it's a winning trade or not. So that's why I just put all that to the left of the journal. And then why was it a winning trade or not? And be specific. Sometimes it's dumb stuff like Bitfinex went down, or I listened to the wrong person, or I forgot to use a stop. And then when you make a winning trade, it's great to be super specific too, because then you can look back on that and say, wow, I should really trade that pattern more often, or I should trade that pattern this way more often, or I should trade that breakout like this more often, etc. So the more specific you are, it's obviously more time consuming, but I think it pays off in the end. Another great thing you can do is include a chart from TradingView directly in the journal, because TradingView, you can make a chart whenever you want. You just put it in there and TradingView saves it. That's really easy to do. Another thing you'll want to know probably is whether or not you're hitting your targets or you're getting stopped out every trade. So it might be a winning trade based on your stop, but it might be a winning trade based on the target being hit. I don't know. Some of this might be too specific for some people. It depends on how often you trade, what you want to look for. I think personal sentiment's a huge factor. Most people in crypto are just generally bullish all the time. So you have to ask yourself, where do I stand right now in this moment at this trade? Did I read somebody's post in Bitcoin markets and decide to go long? Did I watch an Antonopoulos video and get really pumped up and decide to buy some Bitcoin, which I've done before? Why is the reason that you feel the way you do? Okay. And then some other sentiment, like other people's sentiment. Like I saw someone's Twitter post, I saw somebody's post in Bitcoin markets, I saw somebody's chart in TradingView, etc. If you're trading multiple exchanges, this is helpful to know, like, are my winning trades happening on one broker, or are they happening on SimpleFX, are they happening on OKCoin? Entry, position size, exit, those are obvious, I think. So how big is your position? Where this helps you, this forces you to put in a target for your exit as well. What's the risk reward? You can calculate this on TradingView. So if I'm looking at this chart, for instance, and I want to calculate risk reward, you can just go to this tab here on the toolbox, and if it's a long or a short, then you click it on the chart. You figure out where your stop's going to be. Let's just say, for instance, I'm going long, my stop's going to be at this local low, and my target's going to be up here, and it gives you an R&R number, okay? And the bit wider your stop, the worse the R&R, the higher the target, the better the R&R. So that's one thing you can keep track of here as well. Like, are you taking bad risk-reward trades and losing those? Are you taking really good risk-reward trades and doing something else wrong? You know, it just helps you hone into what's really happening when you're trading. And again, I'll link to your chart. Like, what's the reason I'm going long or short here? Here's my chart. I can look back on that later and show myself what was I doing wrong. And then this is actually a really important part of your journal as far as like, where's your headspace at? What are you mentally thinking about? Some people say, oh, this trade just really feels good, you know. The odds of those trades panning out are probably smaller than other trades, you know. So maybe you had a good meal somewhere, maybe you were drunk and trading and shouldn't have been, maybe you got in a fight with somebody, you know. All these things matter mentally when you're making decisions with money especially. So then one last thing you can do is distill the journal into like stat breakdown, okay? Now obviously this is painful depending on how often you trade. You sort of have to really be diligent about this if you want to make it work for you, but you know, you can look at your win-loss ratio, you can look at your win-loss ratio of each type of trade, you can look at time frames, you can figure out where your best trading time frame is. So all those things are examples of journals for me. I'll link up Trader Dante's video in the description. And if you have any more questions, let me know. Happy trading.